Welcome back. It is 10 in the morning. This is the latest I've ever done one of these updates, and obviously, if you can hear by the sound of it, it's later in the morning. Not only are people awake, but they're not even in the house. I got this whole house to myself, and this is probably the last time for months you're going to hear me this enthusiastic, because usually when I do my little updates, they're about 6:30 a.m. People are still sleeping, and I'm not trying to wake them up. School started, so we're on a different kind of schedule now, and I think I'll be getting back to 6:30 a.m., but I had to figure out a different time to lift weights today, and that was during the update time. So now I'm at 10 a.m. Stock market's been open for 3.5 hours. I am on Western time, Pacific time. Stock market is interestingly mostly going down today. A couple of my things are in the green. Tesla looks to be in the green, Nvidia, but the rest is not great. But yeah, let's start off with some news. Before I read this title, both of the articles that I'm going to mostly focus on today are in the same kind of ballpark as you can see, and that is that our adversaries and other countries are just taking crypto so much more seriously. Iran to support Bitcoin and crypto miners by offering output of 3 power plants. Like, could you imagine if some nuclear plant or some coal-powered plant or some, array of solar power or windmills were being dedicated and being allowed to be used for crypto mining? Let's read this, but that would be insane if they did that here in America. In a welcome development, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency miners in Iran will now have access to electricity power output from 3 power plants to mine crypto assets. The latest news coming out of Iran points to growing support for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency miners in the country. Miners will now have access to the electricity output from 3 power plants to mint digital assets courtesy of Iran's Thermal Power Plant Holding Company, TPPH. That is awesome. How much? And do they have to pay for it? I mean, I'm assuming they don't. Tender for Bitcoin crypto miners to leverage output of 3 power plants. According to today's report from an Iranian local daily, the country's Thermal Power Plant Holding Company will hold a tender to offer the electricity output of 3 power plants for cryptocurrency miners. TPPH head Mohsen Tard-Salab said, quote, "The necessary equipment has been installed in 3 power plants of Raman Neka and Shahid Monaziri, and the auction documents will be uploaded on the SatanIran.ir website in the near future." As Iran's economy reels due to a falling rial because of a spike in tension with the U.S., Sarda Lab noted that the country's electricity industry wants to create a stable source of income for the populace. Quote, "Unfortunately, constant price hikes and the obligation for supplying electricity with stable prices to subscribers have caused a large gap between revenues and expenditures in the country's electricity industry, and we need new sources of income to fill this gap. Sale of power output to miners is a source of revenue. Selling electricity output to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency miners will serve as a great source of revenue for Iran's power industry," the boss commented. Iran's bureaucratic department that handles electricity production in the country also concurs the same. So I guess that's what they're doing. They're going to sell the electricity. How is that any different than just plugging into the wall, and getting a bill every month like most of us? I don't really know, but there's a catch. Crypto miners will only receive the output from expansion turbines and power plants. Why? Because according to Sarda Lab, do not consume liquid fuels like gas, oil, and only natural gas. This makes the entire proposition green and environmentally friendly. Interesting. These expansion turbines, Mohsen explained, are independent. They do not participate in electricity production through the national grid. The power plants themselves utilize all the output that the turbines generate. Interesting. So the turbines are separate from the main grid. That's why they're not talking about just plugging into the wall. Cool. I'm not going to read the rest. It's pretty much done, but here you go. Here's one example of a country that doesn't get along with the U.S. that's not messing around with crypto. China sees advantages in being first in new digital currency battlefield. I cannot read today. Unlike many other central banks, China sees concrete benefits in being the first to launch a digital currency, according to China Finance, a magazine from the People's Bank of China. Reported by Reuters Monday, the article said that among the benefits of the digital currency dubbed DCEP for digital currency electric payment would be the weakening of the dollar's role in the international fiance in favor of the yuan. I think international finance, I guess that's a typo. China Finance said that the ability to issue and control digital currency would herald a new era of competition, a new battlefield between nations. Another advantage of the DCEP system would be the better feedback of payments data, which could help promote monetary policy. That, in turn, can help economic recovery post-coronavirus, according to the article. The digital yuan has been in development for 6 years and is now in testing at banks and corporations in a number of regions. The article also highlighted the extensive research that has gone into the project, citing the 130 patent applications that have been lodged so far. These span cryptocurrency issuance, circulations, and related apps, forming a supply chain that would support DCEP. So China is basically moving forward with their central bank digital currency. This isn't like they're putting Bitcoin forward, but they are putting cryptocurrency forward, probably. Yeah, I mean, they're just more advanced. And yet, I don't want America to go with a federally reserved, man-made digital cryptocurrency. We don't want that. So let's see how it plays out in China. Gold took a hit, and you can see in the prices that we're actually under or just above 1900 again. Silver took a nice hit too. Actually, this kind of makes me wonder if I should go buy some silver eagles. But let's see what the news is on that. Gold and silver are soundly spanked despite sinking stock markets. Gold and silver prices are sharply lower and have its 6 weeks lows. In midday U.S. trading Monday, the metal met strong selling pressure amid bearish outside markets today that included solid gains in the U.S. dollar index and big losses in crude oil futures prices. As has been seen several times the past few months, the safe haven metals could not catch a bid amid despite a global stock market sell-off to start the trading week, including big losses in the U.S. stock indexes. October gold futures were last down at $53 at $1,900, and December COMEX silver was down $2.48.4 at $24.64 an ounce. Much of the raw commodity sector got hammered Monday today. Weak-handed long liquidation was featured. Many commodity futures markets, including in gold and silver. For many traders and investors, it was a case of the old market saying, if you can't sell what you want, you sell what you can, likely linked in part to margin call selling pressures across many markets. And I get this news from Kitco.com. This is my favorite place for precious metals news and price and that kind of stuff. You can read the rest of the article here. I will read the last section, or no, just this paragraph here, and then I'll stop because it's long. Importantly, the gold market bulls now need to strongly defend the last reaction low in the near-term price uptrend, which is the August low of 1,865. Basis October futures to keep the uptrend alive and to avoid serious near-term technical damage being inflicted. The silver market bulls have seen their uptrend stall out as prices fell just below the August low of 2380. Basis December futures to at least temporarily negate the near-term price uptrend in that market. All in all, might be time to buy some silver, maybe some fractional gold. I don't really want to buy an ounce right now. That's going to do it today. A little bit different, a little bit more enthusiastic. Have to step away from the mic. I get to yell a little bit louder the way I usually like to talk. Anyway, y'all have a good one. See you tomorrow.